Alright everybody, welcome back here to the Mega Video Game Tournament at the Pokemon TCG State Tournament here in Long Beach, California, presented to you by Second City Gym. Again, a big shout out to Kim Carey for hosting this event for us. Right now we got TFC Kimo N of Z-Wing Sharks versus Zone Captain of Z-Wing Sharks, Dwayne Camacho, also known as Paul, also known as Makiri. On the other side of the bracket we got Matt D of Z-Wing Sharks as well. Also known as the Calm Snivy versus Dwee, part of Clan Dwee, of course. This is Dwee, and joining me is going to be Thomas M, PBB.
Hi, everybody.
So we've seen Makiri play. We know he's playing Parish Trap, so that's going to be interesting to watch. For the team preview, we got Makiri with Azumarill, Politoed, Scrafty, Gothitelle, Gengar, and Amoonguss versus TFC with Charizard, Venusaur, Rotom-Wash, Scrafty, Gigalith, and Garchomp. What do you think about these teams in team preview?
The team that Kimo's using looks eerily similar to the ones that Gavin Michaels and Omari Travis used back in the Long Beach Regional a couple months ago. Gigalith surprises me. I was under the impression that it's not really good this year, but I've been proven wrong before, so why not again?
From what I see right now, Parish Trap is pretty cool. Of course, you know, with the Shadow Tag. TFC's team does look a lot like the regional winning teams from SoCal.
He might have just did what I usually do for tournaments and copy other people's winning teams and then just use them. That's my strategy for the past 3 years.
That is a solid strategy, actually. Getting underway right now, sending out their Pokemon. Yakov issuing the challenge. Gengar and Amoonguss sent out on Dwayne Camacho's side, while TFC decides to send out Charizard and Gigalith.
I'm looking forward to seeing how Gigalith is played here. Usually you don't see, top tier players actually use, well, seemingly useless Pokemon at this level, but we might be in for a surprise.
Right. I don't even know what Gigalith can do. I don't even know its
I think it's
stats.
Rock. It's a rock type.
It gets sturdy.
And it probably gets Rock Slide.
Right.
That'd be a good safe bet.
Safe bet right there.
Is it ground and rock, or
I think it's just rock.
It's just rock?
I think it's just rock.
I don't know. It'll be fun to watch Parish Trap unfold and see if Kimo can weasel his way out of it.
Right. Waiting upon TFC to make his move right now. Captain Paul has already made his decision, so just waiting right now on what's going to happen on Kimo's side. He's probably trying to figure out what Gigalith probably does as well.
I would agree. He's probably going. Gengar's probably going to Parish Song right here.
I don't think Gengar gets Parish Song, but I think he's just trying to trap right now.
That's also a good point.
Mega Evolutions everywhere. Charizard Y makes an appearance, and the white Gengar, Mega Gengar. I have never seen that.
I've never seen that. It must be the shiny version.
Shiny version, yeah.
Is he gonna? Charizard might Heat Wave here. Amoonguss is going to have problems either way.
Right. Gengar opting to protect itself this turn. Gengar hits ridiculous speeds.
Oh, good move by Paul here. Going for the double protect just to see what the Gigalith has and avoiding the Charizard Heat Wave.
Right. Gigalith firing off a Rock Slide. Good turn by Paul, just trying to see what's going to happen. I honestly don't see anything from he was probably also trying to find out what Gigalith does.
That's true. Probably just a scout. Oh, and disable. That's a good move.
Disable is one of those moves that we never really
but Kimo calls his bluff and overheats.
And that is a knocked out Gengar.
That hurts. Paul won't be able to trap at people as well anymore with Gengar fainted. So
right. A Rock Plus comes out and Spore from the Amoonguss onto the Charizard to make it go to sleep. That was a really good read. Overheat instead of Heat Waving that turn.
Kimo called it, and he was like, "I'm not falling for that," and overheated. And that's a big break for Kimo.
Right. Otherwise, that would just be Gengar and Amoonguss out, just wreaking havoc while Charizard takes a nap.
Right.
Gothitelle comes out, another Shadow Tag user. None of them can use Parish Song. So I still don't know why Paul's sending out trappers. Amoongus opting to switch out this turn for Azumarill. Azumarill, there you go.
There we go.
That's Parasong user. And Charizard continuing to take a nap.
Paul could be in a good spot here, because Azumarill will hit both of the opponent's Pokemon for super effective damage, so he should be in a good spot if he plays it right.
Right, Gigalith hitting the Rock Blast into the Reflect, now up on the other side of the field, taking a little bit of damage. 3 hits, that's a good amount of hits. That's about average.
I would say that's middle of the road for Rock Blast.
Right. So now with Reflect up, Azumarill up, and Gothitelle out, I think we're going to see some Parasol.
Something's about to die. If I were Paul, I'd go for a KO on Charizard, but he might have something else in mind.
Parasong, there you go. There's Parasong.
He opts for to stay with the tried and true strategy.
Right. Do you have any experience playing with Parasong?
I used Parasong in 08, actually, way back in the day. I was preparing for the Japanese battles, and I was doing my scouting, and I was like, wow, Parasong's an awesome strategy. And of course, I messed it up and got 4-0'd.
Right, Parasong is one of those teams that's really hard to play.
If you can play it right, you'll win almost every time. But if you mess up, something goes wrong, it hurts.
Right, Gigalith getting 5 hits off that Rock Blast, that's pretty good. And Gothitelle behind that Reflect and the Citrus Berry healed up a pretty good amount of damage. Everybody's Perish count is now at 3, so after 3 turns, every Pokemon that has heard that Parasong will be knocked out.
We'll probably maybe see a double Protect here. I don't know if Gothitelle's faster than Azumarill off the top of my head, but Overheat on Gothitelle. Okay.
Oh, Azumarill setting up the light screen.
That's an interesting move.
So now hiding behind 2 screens and just trying to stall out the Parasong. So that's pretty good. A lot of strategy comes in. There's a lot of stalling. So good Protect right there.
And since Sunlight ended, Charizard won't be able to Solar Beam Azumarill if it knows that. So that's a good move selection for Shadow Tag on Paul's part.
Right. Do you actually think Azumarill's running Sap Sipper? Because it's a Perish Trap team. I mean, Azumarill has Light Screen.
I didn't think about that.
And what's it called?
And you don't want to boost its attack because that's really scary.
Right. I've heard of rumors of people using Sap Sipper Azumarill just to come in on Solar Beams. Again, Gothitelle with the double Protect. That's pretty good. Overheat going into Protects. Amoongus is pretty much coming in for free right now.
And the next turn, we'll be able to see the first 2 victims of Perish Song.
Right. This turn is going to be a switch to have the Perish.
Gothitelle's going to switch out.
Right.
And then Amoongus will probably Protect, if I were Paul, to give him the best chance. Oh, I don't know why you switched out there,
Paul,
but interesting.
Paul decides to stay in with Gothitelle. Gothitelle's going to fall to his own side's Parasong. Overheat from Charizard comes off onto Gothitelle. That's going to be negative damage behind the light screen and the special attack drops. Not even in sunlight anymore. And Rock Blast comes out, but it doesn't matter anyways because it was going to get knocked out anyway because of Parasong.
I suppose that move makes sense on Paul's point of view because Gengar's fainted. He only has Azumarill in the back. He doesn't want to sacrifice Azumarill quite just yet, so why not let Gothitelle die? It's not really doing much anyway.
Right.
And then his 2 opponents can faint, and then he only has 2 left.
Right. Right now it's 2-on-2 right now. Azumarill and Amoongus versus TFC's back 2. We haven't seen his back 2 yet. It's interesting to see what he's going to send out. Scrafty is one of them. That's a pretty good Pokemon. Not really, never mind.
Yeah,
not against these 2 Pokemon
actually,
at all.
no.
And a Garchomp.
Garchomp.
Not Pokemon that you want to see against Azumarill.
Definitely. And with the -1 there from Intimidate, Azumarill will still be able to do a ton of damage against Garchomp. Play Rough does something on the order of like 150%, so it'll easily knock it out, or at least get very, very close if it has Focus Sash.
And the Play Rough is quadruple super effective against Scrafty as well.
That's true.
So Scrafty's not going to enjoy being in there if Azumarill does have Play Rough. Azumarill opting to protect itself this turn, probably to protect any possible fake out. Yeah, and the fake out does go into the protect, and Garchomp fires off Earthquake into its own Scrafty as well. We are in California, remember that. There are earthquakes everywhere.
There was one just the other day.
Yeah, down here, right?
Woke me up at 6 in the morning.
Garchomp decides to go for a little nap as Amoonguss fires off a spore. Who do you think has the advantage right now? I really don't know who has the advantage.
Garchomp sleeping doesn't help, but I think it's pretty even at this point.
Oh! Do you see that?
I did not. I missed it.
Scrafty rock tombed his own Garchomp, so now Garchomp is slower.
Clever. Interesting.
And Azumarill just fired off a Perish Song.
So there are going to be 3 more turns to this match regardless.
What he needs to happen is he needs to be able to slow down his Garchomp. He needs to slow down his Garchomp in order to underspeed all the Pokemon. So the Perish Song will knock out every Pokemon faster than it.
It's smart. It's a good play.
I did not see that coming, but the Rage Power is going to draw away the Rock Tombs as well. So, clever strategy by Kimo, but I don't think it's going to pay off with both Pokemon napping.
Being asleep really hurts Kimo here.
Right.
Oh, and you see Muddy Water making an appearance.
Muddy Water, one of those moves that just always frustrates everybody because of the accuracy drops.
Garchomp would probably need like 3 Rock Tombs to be slower than Amoonguss, because Amoonguss is just super slow to begin with.
Right. I think Paul has it pretty wrapped up.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with both opponents sleeping, they just kind of sit there and do nothing.
Right. It's tough watching yourself lose the Perish Song. Because it's just there. It's like, what can I do against this, right?
Sometimes it's even humiliating, but at the same time, Paul played it really well. So kudos to him and his ability as he's showing here.
Right. Paul definitely adjusted. I mean, he realized that Scrappy kept rock tombing his Garchomp. That was an out for Kimo, but Paul just rage powering it away.
Paul patched up that hole in his strategy pretty quickly and put a stop to it.
Again, Amoonguss just rage powered. These are just formalities now.
They're just going through the moves.
Right. Garchomp rock sliding and Azumarill protecting itself. That's going to be negligible damage to the Amoonguss, who's so bulky. And Scrafty firing off a rock tomb, probably trying to fire it off into Garchomp as well.
I agree.
And with that,
Garchomp faints.
The Perish Song takes effect. Garchomp gets knocked out. Everything on the field is going to be knocked out.
Garchomp and Scrafty sing their last tune, and they have fainted and been knocked out.
Right. So, for those of you who don't know, the mechanics is whoever is the last Pokemon to be knocked out on the field wins. And Amoonguss is the last one to get knocked out, so the victory is going to go to Paul.
Slightly unorthodox at first, Paul's leads, but he was able to execute a strategy just as he planned.
Right. How do you think Kimo is going to have to adjust to play against his Perish Song team?
It has to be not letting it get set up in the first place. Because once it gets set up and Paul can get Gothitelle or Gengar in with Shadow Tag, it's going to be tough for him to come back. He has to put a stop to it before it even gets rolling.
Right. Any Pokemon that you recognize from Kimo's that might actually be able to adjust to this?
I think if his Mega Charizard can not sleep, or if maybe he can use Heat Wave a little bit more, he might be able to do some chip damage, which can at least give him a shot at KOing, somebody. In order for, ideally, the Shadow Tag user, so that he can switch out and erase Perish Song.
Right. For those of you who don't know, we're currently taking a little small break because the DS that one of the players is using charging issues. Yeah. So remember, when you come out to these tournaments, it's always nice to bring chargers and just have it ready just in case.
My personal view is that I always charge my DS the night before. I just leave it in the wall, and when I wake up in the morning, it's ready to rock.
Right, but I mean, we've been playing all day, so it's been a good amount of time. That DS probably deserves a break.
It's been seeing a lot of action today. That's definitely for sure.
It's definitely interesting though, seeing the Perish Trap part of the team come out of the back. His only Perish Songer was really just Azumarill that game.
I think his goal was trying to at least sleep one or if not two of the opponents. That way he can get his Perish Trap in safely, and then the carnage begins.
Right. Again, the teams Azumarill, Politoed, Scrafty, Gothitelle, Gengar, Amoonguss for Paul's side versus TFC's team, who we saw earlier during team preview. What adjustments do you think he's made so far in terms of trying to come back from this deficit that he's in right now?
Well, I think he knows what he needs to do, which is to stop Perish Song from even happening in the first place. And so he'll have to make some educated decisions. And you can see he's going for the Chlorophyll Sunlight combo, which will make it'll make Venusaur really fast, and Charizard will just be a beast. And so he's probably going to just muscle his way through as much as he can.
Right, you cannot Perish Song when you're asleep.
That's true.
As long as Venusaur can spread that sleep pad around, that's going to be pretty solid. Charizard, Venusaur, those oh so common leads that we've seen so far in SoCal, in the beautiful sunny California, by the way.
Sunny California.
And the drought, which, I mean, come on, we got a drought in California here apparently. I guess we gotta tell everybody to stop using Charizard Y.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
If everyone could stop using Charizard Y, that'd be great.
Yeah, we have a drought. We have a real drought out here.
If someone could bring Politoed out here, that'd be great. Thanks.
Right. Versus Gengar and Scrafty. Scrafty, we haven't seen from Paul's side just yet.
This will be an interesting top 4 match for both opponents. You can see a Mega evolving right there.
Right. Gengar again showing its Mega Evolution to Shadow Tag all the Pokemon in. And Charizard Y also makes an appearance too, bringing the drought, bringing the sunlight, doubling his speed. Doubling Venusaur's speed, I mean.
From what I've seen, most players usually Mega Evolve on the first turn that their Mega is out on the field.
I feel like I've seen a lot of people also just protect Charizard for the first turn. But here, the Fake Out coming out onto... Ooh, Perish Song, right? Gengar does get Perish Song.
Gengar does get Perish Song.
Gengar does get Perish Song. I stand corrected.
Yeah, I think it's an egg move, actually.
Sleep Powder coming out. And
so that'll prevent Protect Stall.
Gengar goes to sleep, but at the same time, you know, he's already got a lockout. He's got the Shadow Tag, and he's got the Perish Song up.
I think Charizard will be able to KO Gengar right now, but he's still got Perish Song he has to worry about. He's going to have to double switch at some point if he wants to survive.
Right, TFC has to find a way to break the lock and be able to get his new Pokemon in before the Perish count goes down all the way.
It'll be interesting to see what Scrafty does here. It probably has, Protect, Drain Punch, the standard stalling moves. If it has Ice Punch, that could be a problem for Venusaur. But it'll only be one turn because Venusaur is going to be moving first because of Chlorophyll. And it'll probably Sleep Powder.
Right.
That'll be Kimo's best bet. And then attack something.
Scrafty kind of came in at a bad time, intimidating. Nothing that cares about being intimidated. Although the Fake Out was nice to set up Perish Song.
Right.
Scrafty protecting itself this turn. Of course, Perish Song you got to protect every once in a while. Charizard with the Heat Wave, powerful Heat Wave in the sun, does not get any knockouts, but it does bring Gengar to the red.
It gets really close to bring out Gengar, and that's going to be the key for Kimo in this match.
Right. The thing that I can see though is going to be kind of weird, but if Gengar even does get knocked out, Paul will probably just send Gothitelle. No doubt.
That's true. I want to switch. Interesting. I guess to erase the Perish count.
Gengar again napping, but I think that doesn't matter too much. And Azumarill shows Sap Sipper.
That's a good prediction on Paul's part. Now he has a +1, I think it's +1 Azumarill.
+1 Azumarill, yeah.
And it's ready to kill something.
That's one of those things. I mean, the grass immunity is nice, but at the same time, huge power, that instant double boost is pretty cool too.
That's absolutely right.
And there you go, Gothitelle comes back in, Shadow Tag.
So Kimo's first 2 Pokemon are pretty much dead in the water at this point.
Right. Pretty obvious double protect coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's important right now is how do you think TFC is going to try to get his back 2 Pokemon to be able to knock out Paul's last 3 Pokemon?
Well, we haven't seen what they are yet, so we'll have to wait until he actually sends them out. What would be ideal is if he had something to maybe taunt or sleep the Gothitelle, because then that would prevent, or I'm sorry, Azumarill, because that would prevent Perish Song.
Right. Azumarill, the only Perish Songer left on Paul's side. And the Pokemon that comes out for TFC are Scrafty and Gigalith. Nothing there gets taunt.
Or Spore, or Super.
Nothing can really stop Azumarill from setting up another Perish Song.
I believe Gothitelle is pure Psychic, right?
Gothitelle is pure Psychic, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a pretty well-designed Perish Song team right now.
Paul put a lot of thought into this team on being able to get Perish Song up safely and then prevent the opponent from switching out, and he's executed beautifully so far.
Right. I honestly don't see any outs for TFC.
If Gigalith pulls like Rock Smash or something, that powerful rock move that has the recoil.
Head Smash? Does it get Head Smash?
Is it Head Smash?
Yeah,
yeah, I think if he attacked Azumarill and it... Well, it doesn't matter now.
Right, Perish Song comes out 3 turns.
You move first, and Kimo has 3 turns left to, you know, wipe up the rest of Paul's team.
Right, and he needs to pick up a knockout every turn, but with Protect out there, then that's going to be...
So it's really down to 1 turn.
Right.
Unless Scrafty, you know, magically has Feint and breaks Protect, which would be awesome. But I personally doubt it.
I think everybody would be running Scrafty if it got Feint.
Yeah. That's true.
Right now, it is Kimo back to the wall.
Double Protect.
That's, I mean, Perish Trap.
This will pretty much put Paul in the finals match. There's very little Kimo can actually do here. I mean, realistically, he has 1 turn to pull off 2 attacks to kill 3 Pokemon. And
right.
It's just not, it's not going to work out.
Right.
Now, unless Paul misclicks, but he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that.
This is a game of Pokemon. This can happen. Odds are pretty slim right now onto how TFC can pull this out. Gothitelle setting up the Reflect on the team to prevent anything. Drain Punch from Scrafty onto the Gothitelle. Critical hit does damage and peels off with Citrus Berry, but right now they're just going through the moves, like you said.
Yeah. These are just formalities at this point.
Muddy Water from Azumarill onto both Pokemon does a little bit of damage. Rock Blast comes out, and that does a decent amount of damage with only 3 hits. Perish count falls to 1, and 1 turn to kill 3 Pokemon.
That's game.
One turn to knock out 3 Pokemon is just impossible. So the Perish Trap team is going to win. This is a very well built team. What are your thoughts?
Beautifully executed on Paul's side. As you can see, they hugged out over there.
Right.
It's a good team, and it's hard to beat.
The captain of Z-Wing Sharks showing his player a little bit of love right there. And the Perish Song knocks out all the Pokemon, all formalities right now. Z-Wing Sharks, Dwayne Camacho, also known as Paul H., also known as makiri, defeats Z-Wing Sharks TFC in a 2-0 fashion. We now await in the finals for the battle between the Calm Snivy and Hui to finish. Right now, they look like they're in the middle of things right now.
Yeah, their match has been going on for a while, so it's probably pretty close. We'll have to wait and see what the results are in a few minutes once they're finished.
Right, not gonna lie, every time you watch Hui play, you can never tell.
You can never tell what's going on. He's just
Hui.
Stone silent as far as his emotions go.
And even when he is winning, he looks depressed.
Yeah.
So it's always hard to read. So there you have it. Again, Dwayne Camacho advances to the finals. And we'll be right back, and we'll update you as much as possible as we can about the other match going on.